For decades, the European dream had a very specific address. To build a career or a network, you had to live in a mega capital like London, Paris, or Berlin. But today, the map is being redrawn. A massive structural shift is moving people away from expensive hubs and towards secondary cities that offer a better quality of life for a fraction of the price. In this video, we will explore why millions of people in America and Europe are ditching the traditional urban giants for these smarter, quieter siblings. We'll break down the economic logic of this move, look at the specific cities that are winning the talent war, and examine the hidden challenges that come with this sudden growth. Let's check what are the reasons behind this new trend. What exactly is a secondary city? According to the sources, it's not just a smaller version of a primary metropolis like Los Angeles or Paris. These are urban hubs that fulfill vital regional needs in governance, finance, education, and logistics, while remaining below the primary level of the urban hierarchy. They typically have populations between 150,000 and 5 million. While a primary city serves as a global gateway, secondary cities like Austin, Lyon, or Manchester act as regional anchors that often offer more available land and more room for experimentation. By 2030, it is projected that over 60% of urban migration worldwide will favor these second-tier cities over megacities. The biggest reason for this move is a simple calculation of affordability. For decades, primary cities thrived because they held a monopoly on high-paying jobs, but that wage premium is disappearing. Since the pandemic, the extra money you'd earn living in a massive hub has dropped by about 43%, making those high costs of living much harder to justify. In primary markets like Manhattan, costs can be more than double the national average, whereas in secondary cities like Oklahoma City, your dollar stretches 21% further than the average. Real estate data shows that median home prices in secondary cities are often 30 to 50% lower than primary metros, making home ownership a realistic goal for young professionals. Several cities have emerged as the big winners. While Lisbon was the first choice for the initial wave of digital nomads, its skyrocketing prices have pushed the new generation north. Porto is now the affordable alternative. With rents remaining 30 to 40% lower than in Lisbon, Porto saw a 67% increase in foreign remote workers over the last year. It has transitioned from a tourism-heavy economy to a thriving hub for slow-living entrepreneurs and retirees. Now recognized as one of the largest IT hubs in Europe, Kraków has a talent pool of over 60,000 specialists. It is no longer just a place for outsourcing. It is a strategic innovation partner for giants like Google, IBM, and Shell. Because the cost of living remains roughly 50% lower than Berlin, tech professionals here enjoy a high standard of living supported by a world-class startup ecosystem and prestigious academic institutions. In late 2025 and 2026, Valencia consistently ranked in the global top 10 for quality of life. It offers the Mediterranean sweet spot, a cost of living roughly 20% lower than Madrid or Barcelona, but with elite-level healthcare and safety. The city has invested heavily in green infrastructure, including the 9-kilometer Turia Gardens, making it a model for sustainable urban living that attracts families and remote workers alike. Glasgow and Edinburgh have pioneered cooperative competition. Instead of fighting for the same resources, they share infrastructure and knowledge to create a regional powerhouse. Glasgow is set to host the largest event in the UK in 2026, the Commonwealth Games, bringing in £150 million in investment, while Edinburgh continues to lead in finance and high-end tourism. Together, they offer a career-competitive environment that avoids the extreme financial pressure of London. This migration is not a temporary trend. It is a permanent realignment driven by three major factors. Remote work is now a baseline reality for nearly 48% of the global workforce. This has broken the traditional requirement to live where you work. Workers are now choosing locations based on lifestyle ROI, how much quality of life their salary can buy, rather than proximity to a physical office. People are no longer willing to tolerate long commutes if they can have a backyard and a quiet workspace in a city like Boise or Chattanooga instead. This has even led to a cultural convergence, where high-speed internet means you can access the same media, products, and professional services in a mid-sized city that you once could only find in a place like London or NYC. It isn't just individuals moving. Corporations are following the talent. Texas has become the premier destination for this, with the Dallas-Fort Worth area attracting 100 new corporate headquarters between 2018 and 2024. Giants like Tesla, Oracle, and Charles Schwab have moved their bases to Central Texas, attracted by lower taxes, fewer regulations, and the growing pool of educated workers. In Europe, the same trend is visible in specialized innovation hubs. Manchester is now the UK's top digital tech city, home to over 10,000 tech businesses and the $5 billion ecosystem. Lyon has become France's powerhouse for life sciences. Another major driver of this migration is the rise of climate havens. As extreme weather and rising sea levels affect coastal areas, cities like Buffalo, New York, and Duluth, Minnesota are being marketed as safer alternatives. We are also seeing a phenomenon called climate gentrification. This happens when wealthy residents from heat-stressed or flood-prone areas move to higher elevations or cooler latitudes, displacing long-term residents in those safer secondary cities. Flagstaff, Arizona, for example, has seen an influx of people fleeing the extreme heat of Phoenix, leading the city to declare a housing emergency due to a lack of affordable units. However, this great reconfiguration comes with a growth paradox. The very qualities that attract people to secondary cities, like a lack of traffic and lower costs, are being threatened by the rapid influx of new residents. Infrastructure is under massive strain. In Texas, the population is growing so fast that drinking water investments may need to hit $61 billion by 2080. Traffic in the Austin-San Antonio corridor is increasing by 3 to 4% for every 1% of population growth, leading to record-high gridlock. Furthermore, utility bills are skyrocketing nationally. In 2025, electric and gas utilities requested nearly $31 billion in rate increases, often because they need to rebuild aging grids or meet the massive energy demands of new data centers. The social landscape is also changing through aggressive gentrification. In Manchester, the skyline is being filled with luxury towers that many local residents can no longer afford, with private rents rising by over 5% annually. While these developments create jobs, they also create a visible rise in rough sleeping as the gap between the incoming professional class and the existing low-income population widens. To combat this, some local leaders are demanding that developers include a higher percentage of affordable housing in all new projects. In conclusion, the shift towards secondary cities represents a fundamental reordering of the modern urban order. The superstar city model is being replaced by a more distributed network of hubs that offer a better housing-to-income ratio and a more manageable pace of life. Secondary cities like Nashville, Porto, and Kraków are no longer just fallback options. They are becoming the primary choice for the global workforce. But for these cities to remain successful, they will have to manage their growth carefully, invest in inclusive infrastructure, and ensure they don't lose the unique cultural identity that made them attractive in the first place. The underdog city is officially the new standard of the modern dream.